Hello and good day. This is Blue Knight 7 returning after a long hiatus with the Blue Knight cast. And today I just wanted to talk about a pretty big announcement that came today for tomorrow. It had been rumored by outlets such as Nate the Hate and Switchforce and I believe and Nintendo Talk for a while. But we're having a partner direct tomorrow, February 5th, 2026 at 9 a.m. I intend to make another video or podcast later with an update on this channel. But for now, I just want to say I'm returning. I'm going to try to do this more regular. I'm going to try to grow this channel. I'm kind of happy doing this cast format for now, but we may try some other things in the near future. Thank you for listening if you've listened to any of these before. But that being said, I'll just say I've enjoyed the Switch 2 that I've had so far. I thank my wife, the Teal Queen, for getting it for me. I spent most of 2025 not knowing when I would get one, and then she made it happen for me this past Christmas. So special thanks to the Teal Queen. This episode is dedicated to you. You know you have a good wife when she tries to take care of you in that way. That being said, partner direct tomorrow, about 30 minutes. I have some predictions. I know they're not all going in there, but we could talk forever, but I'm going to try to shoot through them here. So, Capcom, I'm not expecting a whole lot. We may have Pragmata shown again. We already know it's coming. Maybe a demo. Resident Evil, I think that will be a focus. 7, 8, and 9 are coming out soon. Native to Switch 2. That's amazing in itself. If they wanted to do something new, Monster Hunter, they always go to this on a partner direct. Monster Hunter Wilds as a port to Switch 2, why not? I think that's a safe bet, but I'm not expecting much beyond that from Capcom. Sega, including Atlas, I think Metaphor ReFantazio could come back for Switch 2. Finally get a port to a Nintendo platform. I think that is very possible. Yakuza, another port of an old game, a new Like a Dragon game, who knows, but I think Yakuza is safe. Not as safe a bet, but I think could happen, is some of those classic revivals we saw teased at the Game Awards a while back. We already have Shinobi, but Jet Set Radio, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, I think any of those could be shown in some more in-depth form. Anything Sonic, DLC for Sonic Cross Worlds, maybe, I doubt it. I think a better bet might be a Sonic Adventure game or any GameCube Sonic games being shown on GameCube NSO. That would probably be the big NSO announcement for this direct if we get anything. Bandai Namco, I think there's a couple that's a lock. One would be Elden Ring, finally get a release date. It was, we haven't heard much about it for a while. We know they need more time to polish it. The Duskbloods, that's probably the biggest attention getter for Switch 2 right now. I think we could hear more about it. Also from Software, would love to see Armored Core 6, Fires of the Rubicon. I just think that might be too much at once. I doubt it. Tekken 8, Ace Combat 7 getting a Switch 2 edition. Ace Combat 8. Any of those. Why not? Square Enix. We already know about the Adventures of Elliot. Maybe a release date. Final Fantasy Rebirth, a release window would be nice. I think it would be next in that line. The actual Kingdom Hearts Integrum collection we've heard about. Native Kingdom Hearts ports to Switch finally, or Switch 2. Yeah, I think that could be a big one. That could happen. Microsoft and Bethesda. I don't know. There's a whole lot of things that they could do by this point. Will they do them? Different question. We know Indiana Jones is coming, so probably a release date. Doom: The Dark Ages. I think that's a strong chance. Also, maybe if they were to facelift a game, probably Doom 2016 or Doom Eternal, something that would raise the FPS and resolution on Switch 2. I'd be for that. Fallout 4, rumored remake. I think that could happen. Starfield, I think that could be announced. Halo, I know the pigs have been flying with Microsoft, but I don't know if they'll fly that high. But why not? Halo could be there in some form. Avowed, The Outer Worlds 2 recently came out in the news. They did not meet Microsoft's financial expectations, which we all know were probably unreasonable. But could they port them to Switch 2 just to get some more money back? Possibly. Killer Instinct, the Xbox One fighter. I think that should have been on Switch 1. But we'll see if... I would love to see it come to Switch 2. To me, that's money on the table. Anything else? I don't know. There might be a few more rare games that could come to NSO. South of Midnight, we know that's coming. We might hear about that. Call of Duty Black Ops 7. We're supposed to be getting a Call of Duty on Switch 2. That is probably the one they would debut with. Could we see it this time? Maybe. That may be the one thing they do show. Microsoft's weird. You don't know what they're doing until they do it these days. Sony. I do want to spend a moment talking about this because there is a known interviewer, commentator, sometimes leaker, whatever you want to call him, by name of Reese Kiwi Talks Riley. He's pretty active on X. He has said there is a WTF game coming to Nintendo, as in you never thought you would see it on the Switch. He has been posting about it, and he posted a riddle online. Don't get too hung up on the visual. He already said that in the comments, but he said this is something you wouldn't think, and I'll read the riddle to you. I sit beside legends, though none are my kin. I'm sold their same keys to let players in. I share the same screen, and I share the same light. Yet my bloodline says I don't belong to the fight. What am I? Now, any of those games you see there could be one of those games. But he says don't get too hung up on the visual. I wonder if, not on the visual here, but if it's Death Stranding, the first one, coming to Switch. I wonder if it could be Horizon, because most people don't think about Sony property in general. But I'll have to give you another Sony property, Spider-Man. Why not? That's one of their most expensive games to develop, just because of licensing money to Marvel and Disney. Why wouldn't it be an easy port? Just because, the original game was a PlayStation 4 game. Why couldn't they do that? Just to generate some money and, just milk a little more out of that IP that they've already been working on. Spider-Man followed by the 2 other games. Why not? I think that could be something, and that would make headlines, I believe. Going back, though, I also think for Sony, you may have a lock with MLB The Show, because they've been contractually obligated. We've already seen MLB The Show on Switch 1, so Switch 2, I'd say that's a lock. I don't know if it'll be here. Bloober Team. They have commented a lot and teased a lot that they are working on a horror game for Nintendo titled Project M. No idea what that is. I don't think it's Eternal Darkness. I don't think they're making a new Eternal Darkness. I think it's going to have its own title, its own name, its own IP. We'll just have to see what happens with that. Ubisoft, I'm not expecting much. They haven't had a lot of good press lately. We might see like a Rayman anniversary game or something like that. I'm not expecting much. CD Projekt Red, again, I'm not expecting much. There's been rumors of a Witcher 3 update. I don't think they're doing more add-ons. They might do a Switch 2 facelift somehow, Switch 2 edition. I'll go with that. EA, you learn not to expect much from EA on Switch. But Madden, FC, sure. Mass Effect Trilogy finally coming over, sure. After that, not really hopeful. I guess there's a Dead Space remake. I guess there's Battlefield. But I'm just not expecting a lot. Indies. Normally not the focus of a partner direct, but you will see big stuff go through. Deltarune, Toby Fox, Chapter 5 should be coming soon. Why not? Chapter 5 of Deltarune, I'll call it. Another big one, and this is just something I would like to see because I'm a fan of Yacht Club's work. Mina the Hollower, it was delayed from October last year for more polish, I think. Well, I want that game. So I'm going to say Mina the Hollower release date, kind of a bigger news mover amongst the indies. I'll go with Mina the Hollower. Now, usually they close this partner direct like this with either a big third-party game you weren't expecting. Kiwi Talks' WTF game, or like a game that kind of cheats. Like, yeah, it's a third-party game, but Nintendo let them do a little more with it than you thought they would. Crypt of the Necrodancer comes to mind. That game, we got to use Zelda characters and had sort of a Zelda-inspired edition. So I'll go out on a limb here and say we might be getting another one of those. And I think a real obvious one that we have not seen truly happen that should happen is Fast Fusion getting DLC that's true F-Zero style DLC. I want to actually race in the Blue Falcon. Not guaranteed. Probably won't happen, but I would love to see that. And that's all I'm going to do for predictions today. I think that would be a lot if all of that actually come through. I don't think all of that is coming through, but that would be a major partner direct if half of that come true in my mind. I think some of it will. Just too obvious not to. So with that, thank you for listening to me. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. Please share if you could. I'd like to grow and expand this channel. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing it with me. This is Blue Knight 7 signing out for now.